Hey y'all, I just came back in from feeding my chickens and it is cold and it is blustery outside, big time. Um, I don't know what the temperature is, but it is very, very cold. So, anyway, I've got something going in the dining room and I thought maybe y'all might want to join me for a minute. And let me just tell you what's happening. If I can get this down low enough. I am in the process of planting the Lizzy antha seed. Some of y'all knew what they were. Some of y'all didn't when we talked about them last year. This is my first year growing them. And I am just taking the plunge and I am growing them from seed. I understand that Lizzy antha seed, let me see if I can get this guy over here so you can see him, are extraordinarily hard to grow, or Lizzy anthas are hard to grow from seed. And so, but they're pricey if you buy them in a plug tray. They come in like plug trays of 280 little plants. And I haven't priced them. I've just heard that they were pricey. So I'm just, too cheap to do that. And I actually am looking forward to just the challenge of attempting to grow them from seed myself. So let me tell you about these guys. They are a beautiful cut flower that look something like a rose. They can be really, really frilly. I don't even think I have y'all in the frame yet. Let me move this guy back a little bit. But they have a really long base life in that they will stay fresh for anywhere from 10 to 15 days. And they are just extraordinarily pretty. And they're sought after by florists, people doing any kind of event work, wedding work, that sort of thing. But and they will actually do better in a greenhouse setting. We're going to be going after our greenhouse in January and getting it set up. So these guys will not actually be ready to go into the greenhouse until, let me see, about mid-March. But they take about 16 weeks to get from this point of these teeny tiny little seed up to the size where they're ready to go in the ground, which is when they have four true leaves. And so I don't know. And they're finicky. They start out on a little heat tray. As soon as you have about 75% germination, they go off of the heat tray and they go under lights, but you have to keep them in a room where the air temperature will be anywhere from 60 to 68 degrees, because if they get too warm, they can do something called rosetting, which is where they put out a lot of leaves down at the bottom, and then you really don't have a flower that will be, for cutting. And what else can I tell you about them? They have to go under like a humidity dome, which I'm just going to put some plastic wrap over top of them because I don't have the humidity domes. But they can't dry out, and they're supposed to, stay moist until they have completely germinated. And then you can let them dry out just a little bit between waterings, but not too much. You can't stress these guys at all. They're just finicky little dudes. So, I don't know. We'll just see how they do. But 16 weeks. They're going to be 16 weeks in my little grow room downstairs in the basement. And then they have to, go through the regular process of hardening off outside before they go into the greenhouse. So this is all going to be quite interesting, but I really think that it can be done. I really do. It's just a matter of setting a lot of alarms on my phone so I don't forget to do what I need to do when I need to do it. I have to do that with most everything, y'all. I even have an alarm set so that I remember to feed my chickens. Because, my little brain just doesn't always remember everything that it should. And that's okay. As long as I have something to remind me, I'll just work with it. Oh, gracious. I hope your day is well. So Chelsea came over this morning. We were going to work on the peahen house. And it was just too cold. It was actually raining this morning, but it has, as the day has worn on, it has gotten colder and windier. So we chose not to do that, and she has gone to work on other things, and I am doing this. This is something that she honestly cannot do right now with her neck. She is, oh, there you are. I know I had one get away from me. She is going to talk to I can't remember the name of the particular doctor that she sees tomorrow, but she has had her neck, the MRI done on it, and they'll make a decision tomorrow on how they're going to treat it. And she's hoping that it will just be something that they might be able to put, the little shots in. That's what he was hoping with his knee also. I tell you what, this family is just falling apart. I don't know what I'm going to do with this crowd of people. But anyway, looking down like this is just more than her neck can handle right now. So I scooted her along. I said, you go find other things to do. But, and this is kind of repetitive work. It's monotonous work. And I'm one of those strange people that likes monotonous work. When Hugh and I met, I was actually working at a little factory in Michigan where I grew up, from Haywood County, North Carolina, but we moved to Michigan when I was a little bitty dude. I was 4 years old, and my dad was one of those that went up to work in the auto factories. But when I was 19, I was working in a little factory building voltage regulators for Army tanks. That was my job. And it was just a matter of putting colored diodes, lots and lots of different stripes on each one, into a pegboard, and then soldering them in place. And as an artist, just working with all those little teeny tiny colors, I just found that fun. And I could do it without really giving it any thought. And so that's what I just always called mindless work. And I kind of like mindless work. I don't think y'all are seeing what well, not that there's anything to see, but I keep moving things in the wrong spot. Okay, where did I drop you? I dropped one. Oh, there it is. All right. I do not want to lose any of these guys because they are a pricey little seed. But anyway, that's just something I've always enjoyed doing. It's just things that I could just put my hands to and let my mind just wander. I don't know where it goes. I mean, I don't think I've ever followed it long, but it's just the way it is. But I have 1,500 seed today to plant. And it takes longer to build the soil blocks than it does to put the seed in. The soil block take a while. And I have a big container downstairs, a big metal trash can that has soil blocking mixture in it. So I just have to go down and fill my little container up and bring it up and put it in there and pour my water in and mix it up good. And this contraption, let me show you what it is the soil blocker. And it's in two parts. This bottom part, you just pile your soil up down in your tray, and you push that down in, and it would be nice if it would, work that way, but it doesn't. You have to just keep piling more dirt in it and pushing the dirt down with your fingers like that until you get it completely filled up. And then you take this little tool and you scrape the extra dirt off the top and off the bottom. And you take this is your plunger, and you put it right there, and you set it on, well, for me, on these trays, and you push down on it until it pushes your soil blocks out the bottom side, and you're done. But it is a time-consuming little project. But the soil blocks, I've been using the soil blocking method for about 7 or 8 years now, and I wouldn't go back to growing in a cell tray, because the soil blocking, it seems like they grow faster, and they also the roots, they prune themselves so they don't get root bound. You can control the water just a little bit better. You don't have to worry so much about getting them soggy inside those plastic cells. This, when I water, I just water in these little channels, and just a little at a time until these little blocks have soaked up enough water. If there's any standing after about 5 or 10 minutes, then I can just tilt the tray and pour the excess off. But I've had great success growing with these. This soil blocker is more the size that you would use if you're, growing lots like we are. But you can buy the little teeny tiny handheld soil block that has like 20 little cells, and you just press it out with a squeeze bar. Really super easy to use. And I think they even sell them on Amazon. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty certain they sell them on Amazon. But any of you that are home gardeners that want to give these a try, I don't know how much those are now, but you can find the soil blocks mix already. If you're just doing just a few blocks for your own vegetables or flowers, you can actually purchase that. Let me turn you around again. I don't know what I'm talking to. But you can buy the bags of soil blocking mix already made for you through like the Gardener's Workshop. I make them by the trash can full, and it consists of brown cow is the compost that we've used for a number of years, but because I've heard some bad things about there being some of the I can't think of what it's called, but there's a herbicide that has been found in it that's caused some flower farmers some pretty serious issues. So I'm trying to stay away from the black cow right now, and instead using like a mushroom compost. And then you also use peat moss, and then green sand, and what is rock phosphate. So those 4 ingredients, mix it up. I've got, if anybody is interested, as a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and write down in the notes. I'll go ahead and write down the proportions or the recipe for the soil blocking mix, so you can mix it if you want. And you don't want to get it real wet when you mix it up and you add your water. You don't want to get it real wet. You want it to be just so that once you've mixed it, you pick it up and you squeeze a little fistful. You don't have more than maybe a drop or 2 of water come out of that, and you've got a nice tight little ball. So let me put that in the notes here in case any of you decide to go to Amazon. And actually, I know Lisa Ziegler's site also, the Gardener's Workshop. I know that she also sells those little handheld soil blocking contraptions. So anyway, and she also has a lot of soil blocking information if you want to learn how to do that on YouTube. go to the Gardener's Workshop, and there are numerous videos on making soil blocks and growing in soil blocks. And so that would be, instead of me regurgitating the same thing you can get from her site, let me do it that way, because she's the one I learned from anyway. All right, y'all. I got to get back to this and get this finished and call it a day. But I love you much. I hope you are having a lovely, lovely day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.